When you shop at Walmart, you get it. Spend a little less on dorm must-haves.
8 a.m. class, 8 ounces of caffeine.
A room that finally feels just like home.
And create a space that's a little more you. With bedding from $5 and appliances from $9. Save money, live better. Walmart.
Did you see the Jaylen Brown tweet, the SMH tweet?
I did. He did it on social media, Jess.
Now you go full bore with this trade. You already, the feelings have been hurt. Now you go.
Yes, sir. Those
rip off the Band-Aid.
Those feelings would be repaired if, it's a business, Mike.
They feel like they achieved something.
Mike, from the Nets standpoint, if you get Jaylen Brown in exchange for Kevin Durant,
that's about as good as you can do.
That's about as good as you'll do, right? You're getting a 24-year-old superstar, averaged 25 a game last year.
Yeah.
This is good. And you throw in Marcus Smart, which I think the Celtics will have to do.
I don't understand why it got to the point where it leaked out, because that means they weren't willing to do it.
Right. You're right. Yeah.
Bullish.
Well, Brooklyn said no.
Yeah, they countered. And I don't know if there's a there. Like, they're leaking that out probably. You do the whole analytical thing of who stands to gain from this leak being out there.
Are you saying Jaylen Brown and Marcus Smart gets it done, you think? And you're
post picks?
Something could have gotten it done. Obviously, it didn't get done. And now it's out there. Who benefits from that? The Nets, because it makes teams more desperate. They have a better idea of what the market is. They know that the Celtics are aggressively looking at still improving. So maybe if it's a move to try to drive more out of, say, the Heat, I think the Heat are already at, like, here, take whatever you want. It still might not be good enough.
Are you nervous?
I don't want Durant going to Boston. I think that would be a really good team. And I think that they would improve over the team that they have.
Because it would be.
I mean, they are a really good team right now.
Right.
They're really great.
They beat you without Kevin Durant. Barely, but they beat you.
Good players in their own right. Jaylen Brown and Marcus Smart, but they don't scare me. Kevin Durant terrifies me. That's
when Jason Tatum becomes your number 2.
I don't know how.
Well, number 3, Al Horford.
I'm so confused at them. I'm so confused at them not doing that deal.
Right.
You got to jump it. If it's only going to cost you Jaylen Brown and Marcus Smart, who is super replaceable as a defender,
it makes me think that either one of two things, that Marcus Smart has not been included yet, or the
but why not?
Because maybe he has been, but they need like one more.
You also have to keep in mind,
you traded Kevin Durant, Woody, is my point.
They kind of get cap relief from this move if they're moving Smart, and I saw Derek White was attached to it, but if they're moving Jaylen Brown and Smart, that's more salary than Durant's making, right?
Yeah, I mean, I guess the only reason why, like, if you're getting rid of both of your point guards, you would probably need to take back a point guard, right?
Yeah.
Someone from Brooklyn just to bring the ball up the floor, because that team has absolutely no
it's not going to be Kyrie.
Well, you have Brogdon, right, though?
Yeah, that's true. You have Brogdon. Yeah,
Brogdon.
That's a good call.
So then you have Brogdon, you have Horford, you have Williams, you have Durant, you have Tatum.
I don't know what you can count on Horford. I don't know if you can replicate that.
You're right.
Why, though, you
can count on,
I know you will always count on Al Horford.
You can count on 5 elbows, 6 fouls, hard fouls, a lot of picks, a lot of screens, and a bucket when you need it. I mean,
why, though, are teams being picky when negotiating with Brooklyn, where it's like, no, we're not going to give you Marcus Smart? Like, why? And what was the Heat's rumor?
Defensive player of the year. I mean,
like the Heat wouldn't give somebody up, and Phoenix wouldn't give somebody up. There are a lot of, we won't give this up. Yeah, Toronto, we're going to call, but we're not going to offer Scotty Barnes. It's like, how do you get picky about Kevin Durant?
He's 33.
Kevin Durant.
But he's 33. He's going to be 34, though.
I know, but
when the season starts, he's going to be 34.
NBA players.
Kevin Durant at 34 will help win you a title.
Right. NBA players
will
age
help
differently
Toronto
now.
win a title?
I
without
think so.
Barnes, though.
Yeah.
But without Barnes.
I think so.
Really? Okay.
Are they the title winners if they lose Scotty Barnes? It all depends on what
because you love Scotty Barnes, Mike. That's why I'm asking.
I do.
And you're right to love him.
I don't think they win. I don't think they win the East. I don't think they win the East with Kevin Durant if they're giving up Scotty Barnes and who else? Siakam.
No, you'd probably want to throw somebody else in to fill out the set. I mean, Siakam and Barnes is a lot.
OG.
You got to keep someone there for Durant.
Right.
The Celtics, absolutely. They're the favorites
Well,
anyway.
Van Vliet.
But if you're the Celtics, like, don't you just do Jaylen, Marcus Smart, 2 first-round picks, 3 swaps, and you have Kevin Durant now?
Yes.
But isn't that it's just sort of bleedingly obvious to the point where why isn't someone done it yet? I actually did you get a chance to read Zach Lowe's piece on Tyler Hero? Because he said that so much of what's happening right now in the trade market is contingent upon how teams view Tyler Hero. And there are some teams that think he's just basically Lou Williams. And there are some teams that think maybe I can build around him. And that really the Heat can only get something for him if they find one of the teams that thinks that he's going to take off and become this great player. But you look at his defensive metrics, they're bad. You look at his mid-range shooting, it's not good enough. You look at a lot of things, but he's still only 22. And if the Heat are going to center a package around him for either Mitchell or even Durant, then it kind of depends on what that other team thinks of Tyler Hero, and that question draws a lot of wide responses in the league. Some guys think he's just a 6-man. Some people think you can build a franchise around him.
Do you think Donovan Mitchell's going to get moved before Kevin Durant? Because I don't.
I agree. I think if you have a lot of assets and you're going to move them, the only team that I think would do that now are the Knicks. Because they know that they're not going to get Durant from Brooklyn.
Why is that important to you? Like, why are you asking that?
Because then if, say, Miami loses out on Kevin Durant,
right?
You look at their offseason as a whole, did that team get better over last year?
Stayed the same.
No, they didn't.
You lost P.J. Tucker.
You lost P.J. Tucker, and everyone got a year older. In some cases, Tyler's Strus, that might be good.
Because what I was going to say this, Mike is crestfallen because I think he realizes whatever his offer is, it's not enough. If the Celtics are in the game now, they can always make the best final offer if they want to. If they want Durant and they also want to keep him away from the team they played in the Eastern Conference Finals a year ago.
If the reports are they're not willing to part with Marcus Smart, I want to shake them and say, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Even as a Heat fan, I think they're asinine for passing on that.
But you bring up Donovan because you're saying now go for Donovan.
Yeah, because
you're not
now
going to get Durant.
You're going to have a more desperate Pat Riley who's looking at an offseason that I miss out on a whale. I lost P.J. Tucker. I have Jimmy Butler's shrinking window. I have Kyle Lowry's shrinking window. I need to add to this team that was a game away from the finals. Yeah, then you put up a package that's more aggressive for Donovan Mitchell, because I think the Knicks and the Jazz know exactly what that Donovan Mitchell deal looks like right now. I'm sure they've already talked it out. They know what New York's best offer is to this point, where there isn't a super aggressive market that we know of for Donovan Mitchell, because all the players rumored for Donovan Mitchell outside of the Knicks are rumored for Kevin Durant.
So do you think
wait for a loser?
Do you think, and Utah's not doing it because, hey, let's wait and see how this Durant thing plays out.
Right.
Might get a better offer from the Heat.
Right.
And Utah,
a desperate Riley, yes.
They would.
Right.
And Utah has every right to hold out for at least the exact same amount of draft capital that they got for Rudy Gobert.
Right.
Because Donovan Mitchell's a better player than Rudy Gobert.
They're to blame for the Kevin Durant thing stretching out because they set the market with the Rudy Gobert trade.
Yeah, in some ways, it's not always worth winning the trade to that degree. Asking for that next pick, asking for that unprotection, because it does completely ruin the market. And it also, I don't think a lot of teams are eager to sign up for trading with Danny Ainge. Like you said, it's kind of a new owner thing. Danny Ainge knows, call the new owner, and the new owner might get you a deal, but I don't think that the next deal is probably going to be that, it's going to be tough for them to get off of Mitchell if their price is 3 unprotected firsts and a top 5 protected 4th first-round pick.
And this is some inside baseball, but also dealing with Danny Ainge means your business is going to be out there in the open. Those names are going to get leaked. He is going to leverage a relationship with Woj. Names will be out in the media, and as we've seen from Jaylen Brown's tweet, that's a problem.
Yeah.
Within the locker room. You don't want Bam Adebayo finding out that his name was brought up in Donovan Mitchell talks, just using an example, because you run the risk of hurting that player's feelings. And while that does sound kind of soft, it does matter when you're trying to manage these relationships.
What do you imagine the Heat deal would look like for Donovan Mitchell? What do you imagine?
This might excite that fan base, but a lot of white guys going back for Donovan Mitchell.
Right.
And a good amount of picks.
Yeah, so it'd be Hero, Duncan, and 3 firsts probably is about the best you can do. Maybe you throw in either Vincent or Strus to kind of offset the fact you're not giving them a 4th first.
There's some people that seem to think that Duncan Robinson can still command a first-round draft pick. That the deal before the deal would be trading Duncan Robinson, getting the pick, because
and then
you have to package a lot of picks, and right now
too expensive of a contract for me. You're What would they owe him? So it was 5 for 75 was the deal?
I agree. I don't know who would be the buyer in that scenario. I saw that article. I was like, did a Heat write this?
It certainly seems like everything that I've heard is that is a negative contract. If anything, one of the most negative contracts in the league.
I'm only asking because I'm interested if the Heat get Donovan but give up whatever Mike just said they give up, and the Nets or the Celtics get Durant giving up Jaylen Brown and Marcus Smart. Like, who do you like? Bet you like the Celtics, though. You're defeated right now, it seems like.
I really hope that it's too much for them to bear, parting with Marcus Smart, who I believe is an average offensive player. Obviously, he's Defensive Player of the Year on the ball. He's tenacious. I don't like his game. He flops too much. And when they put in Derek White instead of him, I don't think their defense drops off any. So if they wrap their brains around not being married to Marcus Smart, there's a title for them to win. They got the Time Lord.
The Bucks are still out there, though. I mean,
yeah, but I don't.
It's Tatum and Kevin Durant. I mean,
you saw how Tatum performed when he had to be the guy. If he can go back to that comfort zone of not having to be the guy and play off of a player that you've compared him to several times over, learn at the knee of Kevin Durant, that's pretty cool. And you still have Time Lord, and they've already shown you that they can find and develop guys. Yeah. You got Grant Williams. You got Brogdon.
Yeah.
That's a really good team. That's a champion in my mind.
I don't like seeing you like this.
No, I really hope that the Celtics don't do this.
Are you maintaining Utah that their fan base would be happier?
If they got Tyler Hero and Duncan Robinson and Max Strus?
Because they got Whiter.
Yeah, they'd be happier than a pig and shit if that was what they got back.